Today I am bringing you a race from Silverstone where I have a mammoth battle with an opponent all race long, and what I believe to be the funniest sim racing crash I have ever seen. Stay tuned.
10th position, 24 minutes.
So we have a 25-minute sprint here in the LMP2 Sync Mesh at Silverstone. A great race car with the Orcas and the Ligier, but also a really good racetrack. It's key here on the opening lap that we just get through cleanly, because we're kind of middle of the pack, qualified 10th, up already to P8. And through the opening few corners, it was just critical really. Stayed out of trouble, didn't get any damage, and didn't spin or cause any collisions. We go for a nice tight line down into the very difficult right-hander. And this track here, really difficult in this car in the field view when you're turning left, especially in this corner here. You do notice it's very hard to see what's on your left. And through this left-hander here, crew chief was kind of shouting that there was someone there, so I opened the wheel just to make sure there wasn't contact. On the replay, it actually doesn't look as bad, but I thought we were much closer.
We can build something from here.
Now you will have seen I have animated our little crew chief, so when he says something he does appearance screen. I think just gives a bit more of a feeling of an actual real guy talking, just a voice in heaven. But we see there someone's already off, so already at the end of lap 1, middle of lap 1, up to P7, so P10 to P7, it's been a good start. We've stayed out of trouble somewhat and no damage, and now it's just all about building our pace up and getting temperature in our front tires, because you'll notice here as we go through the very difficult Maggots Beckett's front tires just aren't biting, and we go a touch wide, which really ruins our run through Chapel, and of course then will also affect our run up the Hangar Straight. So we go heavily to the defensive line on the inside and just hope that we can basically maintain our position. Obviously into the next right-hander it's going to be incredibly hard, as if you go around the outside the track does tighten, as you see here, so the inside car will always have the advantage as the track jerks back and then basically the outside guy gets chopped off. So we managed to survive our first mistake, but we did lose touch with the car in front, P6. So at the moment now it's just about, again like I said, just trying to get temperatures in a race like this where it's slightly darker in the evening. It is critical that we do get some temperatures. Now I did mention at the start of the video we have the most hilarious sim racing crash. I'm going to be quiet from here and you can just enjoy this cinematic masterpiece. So we are now back up into P7. We have a bit of a gap behind us after some of the most hilarious crashes you've ever seen. That guy who actually got taken out pretty much reported every car he could find, because I even got reported for that incident. He messaged me saying that I was reported for taking him out, which was quite funny. He even reported the guy that was collided with and sent to the back of him, so I think he was just so angry at the incident he reported everyone. But you'll see here now we are catching the car in front, and we make a slight decision there to change the traction control from 2 to 1, and that was the critical change we made in this race. So up until the point where we had traction 2 on, we were probably as fast in maintaining position. That one dial click to the left of traction control 2 to 1 made the world's difference through these fast corners where the traction control was kicking in. It was really holding the car back, and it just gave me that extra turn of pace to get back onto the car in front, Philip in the Orca. So now I feel like I have the advantage. We're probably about 10 minutes, 12 minutes into this race, and I feel the car in front is just starting now to make a few mistakes. We've been on his rear wing for about 6-7 minutes now, and I'm just starting to push the envelope a little bit harder, and he's just starting to miss the odd apex and just get in a little bit deep and probably lock a front right wheel into some of these harder, slower corners. But we're pretty much right on him now, and we have been for a few laps. So this is the part of the race now where we're going to just start making a few, what I would say, kind of distraction moves behind them, where I just start to maybe just have a look into these corners. A lot of them I'm not going to be able to do anything with the current situation when I'm not close enough. I don't have that much of a speed advantage. But you can see he's just using all the track, so he's what I would say, judging by that on his limit, and again he's very defensive through the very fast part of the track through Woodcut there. He's on the inside wall, pretty much the old pit straight, and we cut now to the entry of Vale, and he's been pretty weak in here. He makes a couple of mistakes into this place on a few occasions, this time nice and clean, but I feel like just on the brake pedal especially I feel a bit stronger, but I just think I'm not getting enough slipstream off the car. I feel like maybe I just have slightly too much wing, so at the moment I feel like that's a little bit of a hindrance. But then through here you can see he's out onto the dirt, just kicks up a small bit. That will not help his run through this fast sector, and again down here I just feel like just slightly off the perfect apex, and we have a look into the left-hander, but like I've mentioned, just with the kind of A-pillar there to my left, it's nearly a blind corner, so if I do actually go for that move, it's going to be a very much a Hail Mary, and the chances are it will bounce across the sausage curb and into the side of the LMP2 car in front, so that is not what we want. We want to basically use that to get close to him. You can see now down into Brooklands, once again just showing him a bit of a wheel on the inside, but at the moment Philip is defending quite well and just maintaining position. He's not doing anything out of the ordinary in the braking. He's kind of defending the straight, but braking at the moment he's doing pretty normally. So we have our first good look here now at ourselves coming on to the hangar straight. He stays on the left of the track, and I actually for the first time really sit in his slipstream. A lot of time I've been kind of trying to just get out of the slipstream, and we actually go for a bit of a lunge, a bit of a late lunge, but we do get up the inside, but we make a critical error. A while ago I did say if you kind of squeeze the car out he runs out of track, but I didn't squeeze him. I kind of left him space, and then I basically left myself open to a lunge into Vale. He just keeps half a car length on the circuit, and unfortunately looking back at this was some poor driving on my behalf, because I got the move done, but I was just too courteous to Philip, and now he's aware I have a pace advantage and he knows I can get the move done in here, so he's really aggressively braking the slipstream. Kind of moves small behind the braking, but I'm not close enough, so not really too much of an issue, but something just to keep mindful of, that he is very much darting around on the straights to brake slipstream. Again down into Vale, very much tries to defend, and you can see this time he gets it wrong. He takes such a defensive line. He's off the track again. Can we go around the outside? No. Once again he's just making the mistakes in the parts of the track where you don't really get much of an advantage if you're on the actual racing line. He just blocks enough. We give him a little flash, as that was his first mistake, so his first off track, so we give him a little flash in the high beams, just kind of again just trying to get in this guy's head, just small little distractions and just small little bits, and again it maybe is working. He's not on the apex there, so we think to ourselves, let's go really wide on the outside and cut back and get a good run, and unfortunately he doesn't get a great exit, which puts us right on his back wheels once again. So up here now you'll see he goes for the middle track and then jerks back right, so he tries to trick me into looking at a defensive line. We've gotten a run, we have a bit of slipstream, he goes for the defensive line into Brooklands again. We break a touch earlier on the outside, release the brake, really throw the car in high corner speed, you get such a better run through. But once again Bill up into Luffield, has a nice little blockade there, just parks the car on the apex, and unfortunately nothing doing. I see I have a quick look back there just to see if we're kind of shredding time to the car behind and losing time, but again through this fast part of the old pit lane there, he just hugs the white line on the inside and drifts back over then. But again, unfortunately for me, not really much I can do. Again, now we're on the hangar straight. This is a critical part of the track for me. He stays to the left, then jumps back over to the right side, so we go to the outside. Again, I've already kind of said this move is not really on, but we get really close, and I'm thinking to myself, right, if we can get a run through here, can we get a bit of a lunge on in Vale? Fortunately, as we go across the curb, get a small bit of snap of overs there, and that is that move undone for me. So again, he's pretty deep in Vale, so he's just braking pretty late everywhere and just kind of holding us both up, but in fairness he's doing a pretty good job. We're down now to barely 6 minutes left in this race, so we've been behind this guy now for nearly 15 minutes. With the very fast cops corners, he gets it pretty wrong off track once again, and once again I give him a cheeky little flash just to kind of go, yeah, that's another off track, another little warning shot thrown at him. 5 minutes left in this race, so we're really up against the clock now. It's a long enough lap round here, so at most we have 3 laps, and again we look to be really close from through Coppice, or not Coppice, Maggotts Beckett, and out of Chapel we get a great one. Now this time we are eagerly everywhere he goes, we try and stay with him in the slipstream. He goes to the outside, and then again he's going to go across to the middle of the track to brake, just to make sure I don't go for the lunge. Again, that just holds up his corner speed quite a bit, so he's not fast through the right hander. That allows me right on his back wheel. We sit in the slipstream again, but down into Vale, protects the inside line. There's not much I'm going to be able to do from there, and again he just actually gets this one stopped quite nicely in the apex, really checks me right up. unfortunately there's nothing to do. But now through this last part of the lap, I have to think to myself, right, we're going to have to try something different. We're not being able to do it on the hangar straight. We're not going to do it into turn 1. So here we are. We're left with some decisions. We're going to have to get creative. We get a good run through here. We're on his back wheel now. Can we go for the lunge into the right hander? We go to the outside. He moves very late in fairness to him. That was the mistake. Wide into the right hander. We jump into the lead. And now it's all about, can we just stay clean for a couple laps? We go wide here. But as you'll see in a second, he actually ends up having a bit of a half spin of his own accord. And we finally get the move done. That move was about 18 minutes in the making. And finally we got up to P6. It was a brilliant race from both of us. I think it was clean for the most part for everything. I think there was a couple of maybe late moves from me in the move into this right hander here, and there's a couple times where he maybe moved slightly a bit late, but all I think was fair in the racing really. Overall I wasn't too concerned, but we exchanged messages as well after the race. We both kind of seemed to enjoy the 20 minutes of onslaught of attackers versus defenders, you could say. But we do end up coming across the line in P6. And it was just an overall really fun race. It just shows I have a couple of weaknesses in my own driving, because there was a couple of times I just felt like that my racecraft wasn't as sharp as I feel it could be. So still a lot of work for me to do, but overall a great race. So again, congrats to Philip. It was a fun little battle in a very dark evening here in Silverstone. But that is where we will leave it. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. I really heavily edited. This is exactly the sort of video I was talking about at the start of the year. The much more edited and focused video, shall we say. So that's why it takes a bit longer to make these videos. So I hope you have enjoyed it. And if you do, consider maybe dropping a subscription, drop a like, and leave us comments if you did like this sort of editing. A lot more stuff on screen, a lot more elements going into it. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I should be back very soon. I have another quite a special video I feel coming on AMS2, something to do with it. I'll give you a little hint. It's to do with paid setups. But until then, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Slán go fóill.